Hey, Walt here from WaltandPA.com as well as StogieReview.com with another Shooting the Breeze video. And I'm a little sweaty, I'm a little sore. I just got in from the range and I had a blast. It's Tuesday night and the club that I just joined does sporting clays on Tuesday nights. And I had never done it before, but it was something that I wanted to get into quite some time ago. And I never got into it. Actually, I didn't really care which clay sports it was, whether it was skeet, trap, or sporting clays, but I wanted to get into something, and that was the reason why I joined this one range back a little bit before winter. But when winter set in, I never made it out to any of the weekly shoots that they do. And when I joined over at Ole Valley Fish and Game, I had joined on a night that they were doing sporting clays, and it was pretty active. And I decided, well, you know, next week, today, I'm going to go over there, I'm going to give it a try. So I was making arrangements with Sean, who gave me like an IDPA primer, and we were going to go over and shoot together. But Sean had some stuff come up, he couldn't make it, but I decided to go anyway. And I borrowed my father's old Remington 870 Wingmaster, and out I went. Now I was a little concerned going into it because even before I was reading a lot of stuff on the forums, and like 90% of the people giving advice were saying that you know, a pump shotgun is you know, probably the worst thing you could ever take to the range. It's going to be nothing but problems. It's not going to cycle fast enough. It's going to have too much recoil. It's you know, it's generally a bad idea. You want either a semi-auto or an over-under. And if you look at the prices on either one of those, they're fairly expensive shotguns. And you know, because this was something I'd never done before, I was completely happy with a pump. And you know, I found, you know, if 90% were saying pump shotguns were horrible, there were 10% that were saying, you know, I see guys at the club all the time with pump shotguns, and you know, they can cycle them just as fast as the guy with the semi-auto, and it's not a problem. And you know, you just have to learn to get used to the action and the extra recoil and things like that. So I borrowed my father's shotgun and away I went. And I got there, and I was the only one there. And there was the older guy that signed me up, Don, and there was a younger kid, 14, 15, I really don't remember his name, maybe 16. But so he took me up, and he was the guy throwing the clays. And he gave me a little walkthrough because I told him I had never shot before, and he gave me a lot of really good advice. I was having trouble adapting and taking that advice, being my first time shooting, and you know, with the flow of sporting clays and things like that. So it was a little tough, but he kept pointing things out, and he was a real big help. About halfway through, it was 50 clays. About halfway through, I started hitting my stride, and you know, I was hitting a lot, and I was doing pretty good. And then all of a sudden they're throwing rabbits, and then everything just kind of fell apart. I wasn't shooting right after that. My biggest problem was leading, and I had mentioned on Twitter that I was doing my first sporting clays shoot, and I asked if anyone had any advice for me. And one of the guys that shoot fairly often, Skip, who is Chief Hava, who is Cro-Magnon Cigar, or part of Cro-Magnon Cigar. I forget the guy's name from Adrian is the other part, but Skip was telling me, lead more than you think you need to, and shoot where the clay is going to be, not where the clay is at the moment when you pull the trigger. So I go into it, and I'm thinking, okay, I got to lead a lot, and I'm leading like way in front of the clay, and I'm not hitting anything. And finally, I started hitting my stride, and then you know, the rabbits came, and then after that, I really wasn't hitting very much anymore. So out of 50 clays, I probably broke 15, 18-ish. I didn't do very good, but I had so much fun doing it. I really do plan on going back next week and giving it another try. The pump shotgun wasn't too bad. The only time where I felt like I wasn't cycling fast enough were the rabbits and a station where clays were really close to the ground. I mean, they were only a few feet off the ground, and they were kind of difficult cycling fast enough to keep up. But given some time, I don't think that the cycling issue will be a problem. The extra recoil, you know, I'm kind of sore, but I really don't mind it too much. One of the disadvantages with the shotgun that I have is that I believe my father bought it in the late 70s, and he's got a model that doesn't take the interchangeable choke tubes. So you've got a dedicated barrel, and he's got three barrels, and the one that I took with me was modified. And the younger kid that I was talking to there was telling me I should be using the IC choke. I don't remember what the I is. I think it's intermediate or something. I think he was telling me it's in between modified and full, but he said I wanted a tighter choke. But even with shooting modified, you know, I wasn't breaking a lot, but I had a lot of fun, and most likely I'll pick up a new Remington barrel that takes the interchangeable chokes, and I'll you know, get the chokes that come with it and play with them and see what kind of pattern I'm looking at, and see which one does best for me. But you know, I had a lot of fun. I know I sound like a broken record. I keep saying I had a lot of fun, but I really did. And had I had a couple more dollars in my pocket, I probably would have did another round. You know, I didn't know how I was going to feel after one. I had 20 bucks in my pocket, so I shot one round. I didn't have enough to shoot a second round. If I did, I probably would have went again, and I don't know how my shoulder would have held up to 100 rounds, but it was a lot of fun. I was shooting 7.5 shot, 2 3/4 shells, and I picked up 100 bulk pack from Walmart for like $23 or something like that. I think they're Winchester Universal or something like that. And I got a massive shell pouch for my side. I brought it home and I was showing it to my wife, and she said it looked like a massive fanny pack, and it was giving me a hard time about it. You know, I'm just kind of trying to think back to some of the things that happened, just to add a little meat to this video, instead of me just sitting here bumbling like an idiot telling you how much fun I had. But the pump shotgun was fine. Recoil wasn't terrible. I need to learn to lead better. They do skeet and or trap on Wednesdays. I don't think I'm going to go to that. I don't know that I'd be able to afford to keep up with several clay events. I don't know that I can really afford to go every week, but I probably want to make this an every other week kind of a thing, because it was a lot of fun. They did a short, their short field or something they called it. It was 3 pairs from several stations, 50 total shots. And the guy was telling me that on the 2nd and 4th Sunday of the month, they spread this thing wide out, and they use this whole field so that you've got a more open space. It's you know, apparently during the week is the slower of the events, and you know, on the weekends they get a bigger crowd. But I was talking to Don afterwards. He was asking me how I did and stuff, and you know, he was telling me pretty much come when there's people here and pick someone that I think is doing really well and try to mimic what they're doing and follow them. And he said, you know, you'll improve with time. But you know, it was kind of finicky. I didn't know when to mount the gun and where to be holding when I yelled pull. So I would get where I thought the clays were going to be. I'd yell pull. They'd come out, and they'd be in the air for quite a while until they got up in front of me, and then I was ready to go. I was mounting the gun. So I was probably mounting too late, and I should have been, you know, I should have been looking where they're coming out and tracking them as I went. But you know, I was kind of just like picking a point and waiting for them to come to me. And by that point, on some of the clays, they were really out there, and I think that's where my my modified choke was hindering me most, because I was having a lot more trouble with the much farther shots. The intermediate stuff was great. That's where I started hitting my stride, and when it got further out, then I started losing how much I had to lead, and then it was getting difficult. But I had a great time. I'm definitely going back again to do it. Maybe not next week, but most definitely either next week or the week after. And I'll report back. I forgot to take any pictures while I was there. I got so wrapped up in shooting and having fun that I forgot to take pictures until I was leaving, and I snapped a picture of the sign for the blog post. While I was there, I got two stations in, and 2 other guys came. And you know, I shook their hands, introduced myself, was talking to them for a couple of minutes, and then they jumped in where I was, and then when we were finished, they went back and did the first 2. But one of the guys were shooting, one was shooting semi-automatic, the other guy was shooting an over-under. Both of them had said that they haven't shot in quite a while. and they were missing quite a bit too, so I didn't feel like I was getting my ass kicked so much. But one of the guys was smoking a cigar when he walked up, and I said, hey, you know, what do you got there? It's Rocky Patel. Oh, which one? It gives me that look like it's a sun-grown. There was no band on it. And I said, yeah, you know, I'm a cigar guy. He says, oh, well, you know, I brought a couple. Would you like one? No, I got some in the car. So next time maybe I'll bring my cigar with me. I picked a small Illusion Epernay Le Petit for the car ride over, just because I knew that I'd be wrapped up with it when I arrived. And, you know, I didn't want to have to be fumbling with a cigar, you know, while I was shooting. And, you know, if there were people there, I think next time, you know, I'll just walk out with a cigar and set it down just like he did, you know, when it's time to shoot. But had a blast, can't wait to do it again. And, you know, you know, I usually pose a question at the end of these videos. So the question being, have you ever shot any of the clay sports? Which one do you like? And, you know, what advice can you offer the brand new shooter that's got one match, so to speak, under his belt? So until next time, happy smoking, happy shooting, and I will catch you later.